Hi there. Welcome back to Nature Yourself. As you can see, we are changing pace a little bit. I'm going to read something that somebody else wrote today. I'm trying to do this public speaking thing a little bit more effectively, and I wanted to go over something that I believe in, that I hope that other people can see the validity in it. And maybe as we approach these different candidates announcing running for president, maybe we can change the direction our country's going in a little bit and hopefully get to a better place in the next 4 or 8 years and well into the future. And how this relates to what I've been doing is I think that there's a true nature to people, that we're all kind of endowed with certain things when we enter this life. And definitely plays into what I've been talking about with how to get your garden going, how to inspire yourself to be a better person and be more successful, be more accomplished, get more out of life. Squeeze as much as you can out of this life. It's short. It goes by super fast. And I want everybody that listens to this to get as much as they possibly can out of it, and as well as out of life in general. And part of that for us here in the United States is having a government that runs efficiently. And the way the Constitution was written initially it's a beautiful document. And if you haven't read it in the last 5 years, or even since high school, maybe some of you, I would recommend you pick it up. It's not that long. Even if you just read the Bill of Rights, it will definitely change the way you think, maybe change the way you vote, and change the way you talk about government and politics to the people around you. But I'm not really trying to convince you of anything. I want to read over these 10 principles of a free society as laid out by Ron Paul. And I want you to think about this stuff and think about how all of these things apply to your life every day, and how our country was founded on basically these principles, and in some ways how far we've gotten away from that, and some of it's out of necessity. I don't want to start some crazy political conversation. This is not what this whole project is about, but I will be bringing up some things about Ron Paul and things about what I believe in as far as politics goes, because I think it relates to how you can live a better life for yourself. And we all depend on the government for certain things, but I think maybe we should depend on them for less, and maybe we should be more accountable for ourselves. And I'm not saying you necessarily, but there are people out there who take advantage of things that are there, maybe unnecessarily. So, the 10 principles of a free society. Ron Paul. Rights belong to individuals, not groups. They derive from our nature and can neither be granted nor taken away by government. All peaceful, voluntary economic and social associations are permitted. Consent is the basis of the social and economic order. Justly acquired property is privately owned by individuals and voluntary groups, and this ownership cannot be arbitrarily voided by governments. Government may not redistribute private wealth or grant special privileges to any individual or group. Individuals are responsible for their own actions. Government cannot and should not protect us from ourselves. Government may not claim the monopoly over a people's money, and government must never engage in official counterfeiting, even in the name of macroeconomic stability. Aggressive wars, even when called preventative, and even when they pertain only to trade relations, are forbidden. Jury nullification, that is, the right of jurors to judge the law as well as the facts, is a right of the people and the courtroom norm. All forms of involuntary servitude are prohibited, not only slavery, but also conscription, forced association, and forced welfare distribution. And finally, government must obey the law that it expects other people to obey, and thereby must never use force to mold behavior. manipulate social outcomes, manage the economy, or tell other countries how to behave. So let that sink in a little bit. I honestly believe that none of these things are all that outside of any reasonable person's beliefs. I think that many of them can be difficult to achieve for a government. War is always one that I have a tough time with, because obviously we have to protect ourselves. But there's definitely a cost associated with that, and I know anybody who's ever been in that situation, it's very difficult for them. And I don't think that people should have to go through that, but I think that's a really tough one, because them going through it certainly affords us the life that we have. And for that, I'm eternally grateful to anybody who's ever served. And along with many of these other things, a lot of them are very difficult to achieve from a government standpoint. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't try, in my opinion. Even the one with, in regards to war, aggressive wars, even when called preventative, it's a tough issue. It's a tough one. But all of them are tough. And these things are difficult subjects to talk about with people. I mean, you will have arguments within your own family. You'll have arguments with your best friends about these things. So sometimes it's better not to talk about it, as sometimes my wife will tell me. But, I'm interested. And I'm interested to hear other people's point of views. And I don't think I want to be a politician, but sometimes I feel this push in that direction, because I have a good mind for these things. Now I'm just rambling about this. So let me know what you think. And don't get too vehemently one side or the other, or anywhere in the middle. Let me know what you think. I'm not trying to start any arguments. I think that the way we need to solve these problems internally, domestically, as well as internationally, is to be diplomatic and democratic and think through these things the way, especially that our founding fathers initially meant them to be, and the words they actually put down, and maybe not necessarily the practices that they, the actions that they took. And reread the Constitution. You'll glean some knowledge from it. So, thanks for listening in. We'll talk soon.